Hi, Allison here with another journal entry. Today is May 31st, 2024 and you are watching YouTube channel DIY Salvation. Ending the game of Mother May I, that I was playing for my spiritual freedom with the Church of Scientology was one of the most difficult decisions I'd ever made. As I mentioned before, no matter what you say to a member of the Church of Scientology, true or false, real or imagined, you will never talk them out of staying, no matter how hard you try. Though I can only speak for myself and a few others, I would imagine this is true for many members who finally decide to call it quits. A particular realization has to occur, and it's a realization that only the individual can have. You can't spoon-feed it to them. When the church upsets you to the point that it's more important to you to be free of them than it is to get the benefits of their program, that, I believe, is when a member decides to leave. Similarly, when one realizes Scientology is not their only option, and they don't have to pay large amounts of money, depend on a separate practitioner, or answer to an organization, they can leave the church. Lastly, when someone is no longer afraid of what the church will do if they leave, or their personal freedom is more important to them than obeying that fear, they will leave. Until one of those things, or a combination of them occurs, one is going to stay involved with the church, hoping things will get better, and hoping the gains they get from their auditing and training will continue to exceed the BS they have to put up with in order to get such gains. Now, to be fair to the church, not every Scientologist is in this sort of dilemma. There are many that make tons of money and the financial burden isn't an issue for them. There are those who find comfort in the structured life of being a Sea Org member. There are those who are very grateful indeed for what they have in Scientology, and are fortunate enough that whatever organization they attended weren't full of staff members that ruined the experience for them. When I left the church and started learning TROM, I had a very tough time. The only reason I finally got it is because my motivation to learn the subject was off the charts. As confusing as the original manual is, something spoke to me beneath those words that I could not ignore. I actually read the book and listened to every lecture, and this took me about 2 or 3 weeks before I dared doing my first TROM exercise. Though my mind was still in a whirl about the rest of the subject, I at least understood that, and decided to go ahead with it with that minimal understanding. I continued reading and rereading the materials until one day it clicked. It was all worth the trouble. No doubt. But just because I found it worth the trouble, doesn't mean everyone else who tries learning TROM is ever going to find that out too. My conscience would not leave me alone about this. I knew others who tried reading the original manual and gave up on it within the first 10 pages. Most people don't have the patience or the background knowledge to really get TROM. In my first year or so of doing TROM, I still did not completely get it. As a matter of fact, it wasn't until several years into my doing the exercises and studying that I could possibly declare myself any sort of person qualified to give consultations on this subject. And it had to be my own certainty I had to go by. I mean, it's not like there's some sort of TROM foundation out there training and certifying people on TROM. I wanted those who left the Church of Scientology, for whatever reason, to have something to fill the void when they left, and I didn't want them to have to go to the same trouble I did to learn it. Additionally, I didn't want TROM to remain some ex-Scientologists club like it has been for 45 years. I wanted everyone to have the same opportunity as me, whether they are a former Scientologist or not. So I'm going to call it now. For the first time in the history of the subject, TROM is accessible to the masses. You don't have to grind away for months or years to learn it, and you don't have to be an ex-Scientologist. I've more than done my part. The rest is up to you. While I am very good at intellectual activities like taking a complex subject and translating it into layman's terms, I'm not some sort of bunny that hops around social media promoting their YouTube channel. I don't have tons of money to launch an advertising campaign either. If you benefit from TROM or even just enjoy watching my videos, spread the word as far and wide as you can. If you ever truly want to thank me for what I've done, that's what I ask. There's some work left to be done for the channel. Posting the advanced lectures and including glossaries will probably be the final brush stroke on my TROM masterpiece I have created on YouTube. If you know your TROM well, it would help me immensely if you could go over lecture transcripts and construct glossaries for each one. And it would be nice if I could get someone to volunteer to do human voiceovers for existing videos so I can upgrade them. If you are skilled at making YouTube videos, I'd take help in that department too. Just email me at tromguides@gmail.com if you can help me in any of these areas. I am grateful for each and every one of my subscribers, and I am grateful for everyone who has commented or asked a question. I am terribly grateful to Omni-Caritas for his voiceover contributions when he was with us. Creating content on this channel has been, and probably will be the most important thing I ever do in my life, other than maybe completing level 5 of TROM someday. I've more than done my part. The rest is in your hands now. I'm Allison Tandri. We are DIY Salvation. Don't just use your mind. Resolve it.